I need help with breaking addictions to negative behaviors that sabotages my day. With any form of addiction, the fact is, if it was so bad, then we would have changed. That's the reality. If it was that bad, we would have changed. So why do we not change? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's because our biggest problem and fear in life is not the actual problem. Our biggest fear in life is the actual solution. So what we create in life are coping mechanisms to avoid the actual solution. And we do this so well. And we repeat these behaviors so well until one day it becomes what's called an addiction. Repetition of behaviors. Yes? So what you got to do to now break free is you got to give up the addiction to the coping with the problem. That's your actual problem. Coping with the problem has become your actual addiction. That's keeping you glued to this behavior. So how can you stop yourself from coping? Well, you have to remember, our brain prevents changes from utilization of two mechanisms. The first is called softness. How many times in your life, every single one of you, have you wanted to change something, but your mind says, it's not that bad, right? You're fired up, you're saying, I want to change this year, but your mind's like, oh, come on, next year's around the corner. How many of you have ever heard of that before? Or how many of you have ever been addicted to drugs kind of like me in the past and ever heard the story, it's okay, you'll quit one day. You're not addicted to that substance. That was my favorite statement I was telling myself almost every day. I'm not addicted. How many know what I'm talking about, by the way? So that's the first coping mechanism. The second is rationalization. Rationalization. What is rationalization? Well, rationalization is when you're rationalizing to yourself on the lines of, very similar to softening, you are saying, I am going to change next week, next year. I will change when this outcome happens. You know, some people say to me, Tim, I will not feel like this anymore when I get the money, when the court case is finally over, right? Then I'll be ready. Then I'll be ready to change. When my children go to school, then I've got free time for myself. How many know what I'm talking about? That's called rationalization. And if you haven't noticed, tomorrow tends to be the favorite day of the week in that it always seems logical. But the problem is, you know, as the advert once said, yesterday we said tomorrow. Today, in front of you, think about this. This is the day you said you're going to do it. So rationalization, softening prevents changes. So what's the opposite? Do the absolute opposite. Be bluntly, radically honest with yourself. Yes, it's true that procrastinating for one day is not that bad, but the problem is perhaps this happened for many days, if not weeks, if not months, if not years. So be honest with yourself. Where would your life be 10 years from now if you do not change this right now? Because our life is going to be a blink and we are going to be literally there one day. True or true? So it's about you becoming aware, being honest. If I don't change this, then what? What will it continue to cost me? Right? What will it continue to cost me if I hold on to these beliefs? Like what will it continue? What has it cost me so far? And provided you begin to get honest with you wake up the mind. You wake up the body. It's kind of like we've all heard of stories of chain smokers, you know, cigarette chain smokers. They smoke every day and they tell you the story, I'm going to quit one day, right? And they never do. But one day in their story, something does happen though. Maybe they're getting a scan at the doctor's office and they realize they got 1 year left to live if they don't change right now. What happens at that moment? They change instantly, right? And the reason why is the truth set that person free. Same with you. The more you are truthful about this and no longer say, I want to start this next time, next year. I don't have the time for this. I don't have the money. The more you're truthful right now, realizing that that statement is your very coping mechanism that's kept you stuck all your life, the more you can break free. The faster you can handle the uncomfortable truth, the faster you can break through.